Mr. Volker Wrage.
Wrage, yeah.
Wrage, yeah.
Wrage,
Yeah. So that's the real pronunciation.
yes.
It was a really great pleasure for us listening to your lecture yesterday about the asshole
Yes.
moment. So, just in short, not again the whole
No,
lecture,
no, it was too long enough.
but yeah, but the inspiration about that asshole moment, is it really present so much in the industry?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's more present in the advertising industry than it is anywhere else, but it is a presence. Actually, the lecture comes from 4 years ago when I first talked about. Actually, it was about career and how to plan a career. And I was talking to young people at the beginning of their careers. And I was trying to prepare them for the realities of a career in advertising. And I was talking to them about how the realities of what you see on LinkedIn is very much different from what happens in reality. And that all of the great people in advertising that you see, that not all of them are nice people. And I told them about all of the bad people and the assholes that I suffered under in those 2 decades of advertising I had behind me at that point. And that was the moment when this was born, because I found out that many of the people that were listening to me were suffering from similar problems. And it's, whenever I talk about it, I feel that there is a lot of relief within the audience, that suddenly there's someone on the stage that is talking about a problem that I don't have the courage to talk about, and somebody is actually saying a word like asshole that is usually not used, especially not on a stage of a festival. But there is a necessity.
But you said also that brands are like people and that brands needs to be good. Can you explain us about the meaning of your sentence?
Yes, I think more and more we are expecting this to be a reality as a consumer, I think. I want a brand that does more than just a great product. I like brands that don't just produce great products, but also have a position. They stand for something. They have ideals and values, and they don't do things that I don't like. So I think I'm not the only one. I think there's a lot of people out there who are happy when their brand stands for something bigger than just a product. Yeah.
So let's jump to the workshop that you had today. It was about influencers. So what about them? Why are they becoming somehow story for themselves and to be so important?
Well, I mean, constantly we are witnessing the changes that the digital revolution is bringing to advertising and marketing. And more or less, influencers are not a very, very new thing. We have Years ago, we've already been trying to, bring in YouTube stars to help us advertise and promote our products. And basically, they were already influencers before we called them influencers. So it's not very much a new thing. It's just that more and more the technical possibilities are giving us the chance to explore new opportunities in the digital sphere. And influencers have become a factor over the years simply because they had the time to build a followership. And the best of the influencers out there have been working for years to create a name of themselves and to be experts in something and to be identified as experts for something. It takes a long time to be a really good influencer. So now we are facing a time when we can cooperate with these people and where we can reach target groups that are increasingly harder to reach with traditional media. So if I want to talk to a very specific audience of people who are very much passionate about a certain subject, and I find out that I have to spend a lot of money in traditional media to reach them, then I now have a new opportunity, how to talk to them directly with the help of an influencer.
But don't you Aren't you afraid maybe that the audience will recognize that now that influencer doesn't speak for them for himself, but he speaks for for the brand, for example?
Yeah, that's a big danger, and we have to be careful how we use it, and we have to be careful how what we expect the influencer to do. One of my biggest warnings today in the workshop as well was, if you want to work with an influencer and you want them to do something for your brand, you have to let them do it the way they want to do it. To tell the influencer how to do it is guaranteed to lead to content that is not authentic and that will immediately be identified by the target group, which are the followers of that influencer, will identify as fake, as sponsored, as bought. And the trust, which is the capital of the influencer, will be damaged. And then the whole thing just backfires, and it's bad for the brand, it's bad for the influencer. And that's why you have to have a good balance and have to give them maximum freedom. Also to say no, simply because if they feel that they cannot speak for the brand in an authentic way, then we should respect that. And to be honest, I mean, influencers have been talking about brands and products all the time already anyway. I mean, in the old days, you know, even nowadays, all of the unpacking videos, all of the things where people are trying out new gimmicks and new products and things, they've been doing this all the time anyway. We just didn't call it advertising simply because they were not getting any money. But at some point they were given free products because the brands were loving the way they were presenting these products. And suddenly they were turning from fans into influencers. And at some point they were turning into advertising superstars even, you know, and that's when it all starts to be a little bit difficult.
So, do you have maybe any advice for those young generations or people who wanna be influencers, because that is becoming now something which makes money for them also?
I would clearly say it's not a profession. It's not a job. Actually, it's the consequence of something. Actually, a real influencer is somebody that is very passionate about something and knows a lot about whatever they're passionate about, and they're experts, and they are able to create content that people like about that subject. And because of this, they are influential over the followers that they get. So that is the path. The path isn't, I try to create all kinds of content that is going to be funky and everybody's going to love it, and you know, that's not influencer marketing. We see a lot of these lifestyle influencers, you know, they're always couples, they always drive around in an old VW bus, and they're always, you know, this handsome guy that's, you know, looking like a hipster, and it's a good looking skinny girl with a bikini, and you know, and they're selling themselves. And they're just trying to make money off something. I don't call them influencers. I'm just calling them like lifestyle, social media hijackers.
And this will be the last one. So, how many time you give them that they will be productive, the influencers?
How productive they should be in order to be recognized?
I
Or?
mean, this story with influencers, how it will last, will, yeah,
I think that,
year, two.
no. It's sort of, this is something that has developed and it will stay. Like any other digital media, it's going to evolve, it's going to change, and it's going to transform. I think that influencer marketing will be split up in different kinds of ways of doing influencer marketing. One is the more high-end kind of influencer marketing, where you are doing curated content and you're trying to establish a relationship with the influencer, and you have a real campaign that you work on, and you also have small projects, small like for a restaurant or an exhibition or something, where the budgets are really small, and you cannot hire someone, where you basically just use digital platforms in order to create your influencer marketing campaign, almost like a one-stop shop on the web. There are places like Ghost Lamp, for example, which basically do that. You can create an influencer campaign within 24 hours, and get something going within no time. And you don't need to do the elaborate stuff that all creates a lot of money needed.
Okay, thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
your
My
answer.
pleasure.
Okay, thank you.